future of community-based services in education. In order to look at the future of community-based education, you have to look at the past. We have legislation that is currently in place to assist with community-based education. Some of that is in the form of federal funding. James Parker wrote about directly funded programs that go to assist veterans and the costs of instruction and higher education. Part of the funding that goes to them is very specific. There's legislation that's in place that started in 1964 with the Equal Opportunity Act that established the adult basic education programs. There were also other bits of legislation, the National Literacy Act signed into law, and the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act. There are also acts that are not under the Education Act. There are the acts that go with the aging population. As we look at all of those things, we also have to look at the population of our country. In 1940, the population was 132.2 million people. In 2010, the population had increased to 308.7 million people. And by 2050, the estimation is that we will have 439 million people living in the United States. As the population increases, the distribution by race and also by age changes. The ages of our population have changed from 1940 to 2010. As you can see, that the older 65 plus age group has increased from 1940 at a 6.8% to a 13% in 2010. With those changes, we have to figure that those increases will continue to happen, and we have to look at how we will establish funding and how we will continue to help with the community-based services. As with technology, if we look at the changes that have been made with as simple as cell phones, some of these old versions of phones have improved over time and up to the technology that we have today. With all of that, we also have to consider the other technologies that have changed. The laptop is now much more easily used and much smaller. People have them more regularly. We have to look at how that will play into effect in the education of our people as we move forward and into our older populations. One of the ways that we can keep on top of that is by joining organizations that will assist in continuing education and in adult learning. Associations like the American Association for Adult and Continuing Education and other organizations like that will assist in all of those types of things. As we move forward, we also have to consider the other directions that we need to look in order to continue our community-based education. Community-based education for our growing older population and for our populations that could be in need. As with our population, the distribution of race is also changing. So we have to make sure that the programs that we have in place will be there to assist in our growing diversity.